ありがとう。
What a season the spring turned out to be. But let's check what we have for summer. It seems I won't be doing anything than watching anime this summer. The new season is almost here, and what a season it's turning out to be! Jujutsu Kaisen's highly anticipated second season is coming out, along with the continuation of Bleach's 1000-year Blood War, and my favorite isekai of all time is finally coming back with Mushoku Tensei. And while I can go on and on about the sequels releasing the next season, let's face it, if you watch season 1, then you probably don't need convincing to watch season 2. So instead, let's check the new anime coming out this summer and see what's worth watching.
俺には気になる子がいる。
Okay, not that one. Just had to put it in here to say, my god, who thought this was a good shot to start a trailer with? Other than that, there are 6 new anime I'm keeping my eyes on this season that got me excited, starting with Rurouni Kenshin. To be frank with you, I actually haven't watched the original Rurouni Kenshin, and that's why I'm excited for what seems to be a reboot of the series, which follows the story of a young wandering swordsman by the name of Kenshin Himura, who tries to help and improve the lives of others while being haunted by his past as an assassin. Now, I know that the mangaka of Rurouni Kenshin was involved in some, let's just say, disgusting cases back in 2017 that led to him being arrested and fined 200,000 yen, and that might, or in fact will, cause some people to skip it entirely without giving it a chance. But I'm a firm believer of separating the art from the artist, and no matter what you think about the author, we all have to admit that Rurouni Kenshin is one of the most popular and legendary anime series, and if you've been an anime fan for a long time, then you probably heard about it even if you didn't watch it, just like me. So getting to experience the series for the first times got me hyped. Also, it has Rie Takahashi in it. She doesn't miss. This next one is usually one I would skip, but thanks to the studio behind it, I decided to give it a chance, and that show is Dark Gathering. It's a horror anime, and here's a little tidbit about yours truly. I can't stand the horror genre in any medium. Call me a coward if you want. But Dark Gathering is made by Studio OLM, and after their last year's gem, Summertime Rendering, I'm giving Dark Gathering a chance. It's about a shut-in psychic who fears ghosts, and after he starts to reintegrate into society by getting a part-time job, he's dragged into the world of grotesque supernatural phenomenon. I just hope it doesn't go down the route of being gory instead of being unsettling like most horror anime, and judging by the amount of blood that was on display in the trailer, it seems like it's going to be more of an action show. But I'm still giving it a chance. It's just the eyes, man. I'm a sucker for unique eye designs in anime, and speaking of eyes, I'm keeping mine on My Happy Marriage. I've become a sucker for romance anime, and although I'm also looking out for my tiny senpai, despite the backlash it got, which I don't really understand why, My Happy Marriage's trailer pushed it to be the one romance show I'm excited about this season. It's a historical romance about a daughter of a noble family named Mio, who's forced into servitude by her stepmother until she's married off to a commander who apparently had 3 fiancés flee after being engaged to him within 3 days. And after Mio decides to resign herself to her fate, she finds out that he's not the monster he seemed to be. And after watching the trailer, I've got to say that it looks beautiful. I don't know whether the story will turn out to be a cliché Cinderella story or not, and it's not the usual light-hearted rom-com anime that I'm into, but I can't wait to see how it turns out. Now, no season would be complete without the obligatory isekai anime, and while the subgenre is still oversaturated, the one that caught my eye other than Mushoku Tensei is the one that's most absurd, and if you know the summer's lineup, then you already know what I'm talking about. Reborn as a vending machine, I Now Wander the Dungeon might have one of the most absurd premises I've ever seen in anime, and that's saying something. It's exactly the kind of premise that makes me think it's crazy enough that it might actually work, and I hope it turns out to be as fun as it looks, because honestly, I'm sick and tired of the traditional power fantasy isekai where no one can beat Pro Tycoon, so this seems like the fun breath of fresh air this genre desperately needs. If it's just half as wacky as the title makes it seem, then it'll definitely be one to watch out for this summer. The Gene of AI is Studio Madhouse's anime this season, and it gives off a strong Plastic Memories vibe. It's about a human doctor who treats humanoids and their diseases in a world where humans and humanoids live side by side, and this anime tackles the problems that arise from the differences between them and their perspectives on love and friendship. But what sold me on it is just a 15-second segment in the trailer, where a man's wife is infected by a virus and they can back up her data to continue living with her, but if that happens, is she still going to be the same humanoid? This part gave me a strong dose of nostalgia for Plastic Memories, and I loved this anime so much back when it aired, and if the Gene of AI is anywhere close to how good it was, then it's going to be one of the season's best. We're down to the final new anime I'm hyped for, and this one is no doubt my most anticipated one on the list. that's why I'm keeping it for last. But Zom 100 Bucket List of the Dead is exactly the type of show I watch anime for. It's about Akira Tendo, who works for an exploitative company where he's milked dry. Even his crush doesn't want anything to do with him. His life is the embodiment of disappointment. But when the zombie apocalypse finally happens and he's surrounded by hordes of them, instead of thinking I'm going to die and panicking, he thinks, wait, does this mean I don't have to go to work again? He's finally free, and he makes a bucket list and sets out to achieve them, like confessing to someone or to just party. And you have to admit, the premise alone is just the perfect amount of wacky that's got you hyped up for it. And I'm willing to say right now that this is going to be one of the best anime of the season. I can't wait for it to start. Finally, these are the 6 new anime I'm keeping my eyes on, and I'm sure I left some out like Atelier Ryza, but I actually want to play that game, so that's why I left it out. But if there are others you guys are excited for that I haven't talked about, then you know where to let me know that I suck for missing it. Thank you all for watching, this has been AniO, and until next time, matane.